is no other one. What I feel here for you, holding you in my arms, cradle you with my love. You're all dressed in white, looking in your eyes, till all the world tonight I'll be falling. You're my shining star. From this day on, I'll be your friend, I'll be by your side. Blessed are we this night. Shower us with His love. Will you be mine tonight? Giving you all my love. And when we look back at our wedding day, this band of gold that we will share, never-ending love for all my life, then I do. Aloha! Aloha! Welcome to Up Close and Personal 2008. This is the Maui political candidate season at forums. And this is a very familiar face. Of course, Speaker Emeritus, Speaker of the House Joe SOUKI, who has been, how many years have you been doing this?
I'm finishing my 26th year.
26 years. That's fantastic. 26 years of service, but now that was just one step. Before that, you were how many years at MEO?
Oh, I was 18 years, I believe, at MEO.
Was that the step next? What you've been involved?
No, from MEO, I went to my real estate business.
Okay.
Which I opened up my brokerage in 1982.
Wow.
I've been look at them SOUKI Realty from 82.
Till now?
Yes.
So you've seen these cycles before, haven't you?
Yes, I've been through the cycle. In fact, I got my first real estate license in 1971.
Wow.
I think just about when you were born.
Oh, you're such a gentleman. I got my license in 1980.
1980? When you
California.
You had your license for a little while too.
Yeah, but you've been continuous, and you know, when I think of Joe SOUKI, I think of experience. And I think of, you know, you've had lots of races you've run, and, you know, in all kinds of different forums, negotiation skill. I've talked to people that are in office that used to work for you, that would say, this guy, he's demanding, but I'm so glad that I've had that experience to work with you. So you have your own style, I guess, huh?
Yes, kind of the in-your-face style in a way. But I've tried to moderate as I get a little more mature in my ways. And I've always been kind of a hard taskmaster. But it's usually because I usually see a person with promise, and then you become even harder on them and want them to develop to their full potential.
Well, you know, I've seen, I don't know if they're your proteges or not, but people like Gladys Bison and Kimo Bana.
Yes, Kimo. Both of them are very promising people, and I'm glad to see Gladys in the council because she can contribute a lot to the council. She's a great director. I originally hired her, and when I hired Gladys, she had just basic accounting skills, but I hired her for a fiscal officer. But I looked into Gladys as one who was smart, she was a valedictorian in the class, and that she could learn. And that's what I wanted, someone who would have the ability to learn, and not that they knew everything at that point.
And still, it's interesting to watch all you guys, because now in your roles, even when you know, you have to be open to ideas, because you also want to grow. You know, things keep moving.
We keep on growing. We keep on growing, and that's what life is about. Every day we hope we can learn something different, and that is what I enjoy about being in the legislature. You have so much different challenges in the legislature, and you have a whole menu of different generations within the legislature.
You see any upcoming significant leadership in the young people?
Well, there is, certainly there is, but I don't want to mention any names
but
right
you're
now.
seeing some strong leadership?
Oh, yes. We have some very, very young, intelligent people in the legislature that could take over any time now.
How about sensitive to local issues in rural and also city environments?
Well, they have to be. As former Speaker of the Congress, O'Neill, said that politics is at home. This is where you need to keep in touch with your community. All politics begin at home, then it stays at home. And especially the House districts in the House, because the districts are smaller, it's more important that they keep in touch with the community, because their term is so short. It's a 2-year term, so and that's why they made the House a 2-year term versus the Senate a longer term. Theoretically, the Senate takes a broader view, and the House takes a more present view that react more readily to the community because they're so close and they need to run every 2 years. The Senate runs every 4 years, and in the Congress they run every 6 years, so they can take a broader, more statesman-like view. And that is the theory. It doesn't work that way all the time.
Well, you know, I was thinking, in your world, the peaceful art of negotiation, and how all the areas obviously need to be supplied what they need, but there's a balance, and finance, I'm sure, plays a big factor. You have had so much experience over the years. How do you feel what's going on now? What do you think is going on?
He has been the former finance chairman, where I enjoyed both growth and decline of growth, and being a former speaker where I had probably all during my tenure as speaker was a downward trend. So I had to work with these deficits for many years. Mm-hmm. And I do know one thing, that deficits and downward of the economy is mostly cyclical, and we're going to get out of it again. But it's for the next 2 or 3 years we need to tighten our belt. Real estate prices will continue to drop. There continue to be more unemployment, but that is relatively short term in respect to the larger picture. And because I've been through 2 or 3 cycles, and I know that you need to tighten your belt. I remember starting a session where we were $600 million in a hole.
Down. Yeah.
And somehow we got through it. And when we ended it, we ended up, after 8 years or so going in and out, we ended up with a big surplus, which we carried over into the new speaker. The new speaker had a surplus all the way until maybe 2 years ago, when it began to dip again. Yeah. Again, we start going into a new cycle again.
Real estate is the major factor?
In Hawaii, but in Hawaii the major factor is really tourism. Everything is kind of attached to tourism.
You think the gas is going to... We lost 2 airlines, so now gas prices are going down, but we have less carriers, right?
Yes.
And occupancy rates are down, and...
Yes, all down, and again, it presents challenges, and somehow, as a legislator, you look towards these challenges, you look forward to challenges, and that's why we're there. And I know when we were in, we created that economic revitalization task force. And because of that, many things came about. And the reason we did that was because we were on a downward cycle and we didn't know how to get up again. And as a result of that, we lowered the personal income tax from 10 down to 8.25, which resulted over a period of time $2 billion in savings, which went into the pocketbooks of the taxpayers, who in turn used that money to purchase. And that helps to increase the economy. And of course, we also gave, in fact, we've passed a bill to allow for a relatively short time in the passage of any permits, that they would have to, within a relatively short time, I don't know whether it was 9 months or so, make a decision whether they were going to approve or not approve, rather than taking 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Or longer, you know, so we did pass that. So we passed a lot of different measures.
And it's so true.
Economy, yeah.
Well, you know, that the stimulation of the economy, sometimes it's government programs, sometimes the stimulation comes, you know, they say, out of a challenge. That's where the phoenix rises. That's where great ideas are born.
Yeah.
Private enterprise, you know, I've been talking to you off camera about financial literacy.
Yeah.
Imagine if people knew what to do in these kind of times and conditions to take advantage. They can help people that are in challenge. They can help themselves. All these stock market things and everything going on with real estate, new industries are born. And how much incentive to become decentralized and self-sustainable happens when suddenly we have these crises. You know, I've seen tremendous growth and attention on stuff. You know, when I remember when I first met you and we were talking years ago now. You know, I feel, you know, I'm starting to get older.
Yeah, you and me.
Well, when you were talking about renewable stuff before it was fashionable, and I remember I was always thinking, well, I found somebody who was thinking about this, and you know, people are waking up. You gave me some concepts like sometimes people have to feel it in the pocket. As the price of gas goes up, so they get driven to use mass transportation. As we see this whole system work, it's driven by economics. You know, so you've been really a good leader, I'm sure.
It provides other opportunities and for the entrepreneurs and for the public. We use less, we drive the car less. We're looking for alternatives in automobile, whether it's hydro, I'm not hydro, but electric, more mileage. And so we're looking at all these things. Hydrogen, we're looking at hydrogen.
Oh, there's all kinds of great things.
All kinds of great things. And now I'm understanding that Maui Electric, they're converting algae into energy.
Algae to energy, there's all kinds of biofuels.
Yeah, it's a biofuel, and so
let's grow our fuel.
Great opportunities for us. A lot of little businesses begin to burgeon here. I remember an elderly fellow told me, you know, when the economy gets down, you get into the ice cream business. People buy, they look for comfort foods.
Oh, that's interesting.
And
who's that, Mike?
No, that wasn't Mike. But then you get you're looking for comfort food. There's always different opportunities, and whether it's in jewelry, you know, or well, even in real estate, when business gets down, people need to sell. You need to be more creative, and if you have a little bit of money, you can purchase real estate. As you begin to purchase, then the market will begin to increase again. This is the cycle that you see. Let me go back to that economic revitalization task force. We also created the Hawaii Tourism Authority. And the reason we did that, and we increased the hotel room tax at that time, is that for marketing purposes, we're only providing $5 million a year to market tourism at the time.
Okay.
And because the legislature somehow siphoned, we gave a total of 25, but legislature siphoned a lot of that money in different areas.
Okay.
So we created an HTA where the legislature could not siphon that. And so they came out with providing over between $60 and $70 million a year from $5 million into marketing of Hawaii. And it resulted in a tremendous boom in the tourism. They began to looking and working, of course, closer with the Hawaii Tourism Authority, but they gave them the money and the opportunity to market and spot market it. And this helped, and that's why it's so important that that we continue to provide the marketing in a downturn economy, because it's going to come back.
They always say when you should advertise all the time, in a good market, in a bad market.
Yeah, and
in a bad market, double it. Right.
Yeah, especially in a bad market. Then we're blessed that we have the military here in a way. I know a lot of people are opposed to military, they hate wars. I hate wars too.
No,
but the fact is, it does, the military spend in Hawaii
tremendous.
Provide some stability. We know that we have that Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field and all that provide jobs, and jobs provide more money. So that's very important for us over here. And it's important, of course, now that we have, of course, all these years, Danny Inouye, who's a very powerful person and tied in with the military subcommittee on military affairs, and of course, Abercrombie. So we have a good linkage in there providing military. And now, as government during a downturn also needs to provide more capital improvements, to provide government work, highways, schools, public facilities. This here the state provided a lot of money for this arena. I mean,
you guys are probably hearing in the words of who's that now? What's his name? Obama.
Pandey.
Oh, I'm thinking Obama. I'm thinking
Obama,
the policies of creating capital improvement projects and getting people working on things that we need for infrastructure.
That's right.
Will all be really an improvement.
Well, that's
and
right.
Pandey did a lot too. What would you think
well,
of
this whole facility
this whole place
here,
we're at now here at the Maui?
that was his dream. I remember when I
Yeah.
was the finance chairman, and he came in looking for money to build this facility, and we provided at that time. It was Senator Yamasaki and myself. He was with the Ways and Means, and I was with the finance, the chairs, and we provided, I think, $12 million initially. But that was because of the lobbying of Pandey that he came in, and he lobbied continually for this, and many other things here in Maui. He was a great leader in Maui, but especially in arts. And arts is very important.
Oh, sure. And like you say, even in these times, more than ever.
More than ever in the arts, because it provides comfort also. And when you can look forward to coming to see a good show and take some time away from the difficulty of living sometimes. And so you come away, and you come here, and you enjoy it for a few hours.
And we wrap it all together, you know. And
put it all together.
If the arts can raise money to supplement development of technologies and create that self-sustainability vision, you know, and create jobs,
Yes, that's right.
So, you know, this is an exciting time for me in that I'm sitting with you. You've already won your race, and yet, you know, the opportunity to sit and share with you, to get your insights on what's going on here, is really a good thing. Did you step into the hospital thing at all here?
Not too much. As far as providing the appropriations to Maui Memorial, to the Hawaii State Hospital System, yes, I did. I think Maui needs to have a solvent hospital that can take care of its people here. But I have no objection to a smaller hospital that can act as satellites to Maui Memorial, whether they be private or government sponsored. But they provide the need to take care of the trauma centers, so to speak.
So you're thinking west side or south side?
Well, I like to see, they both need, but I like to see west side first, and it looks like it's going to come about, simply because they have only one highway in case of an accident or an emergency, nobody can get out.
What about private hospital like they were trying to do in Kia? Did you feel that that was something that could fit into the mix?
Well, it could, but it's a 300. They probably need to scale down a little bit. I don't think they need another 300 because we have a 200 rooms at Maui Memorial. I don't think we need a 300 room in Kihei that they were looking at, but a smaller one.
Some people called it a boutique hospital, where people would come here to be able to handle services that right now aren't really addressed at Maui Memorial.
Well, they'd be fine, but Maui Memorial has one of the most up-to-date stroke centers in the state of Hawaii. And we're fortunate, you live here in Wailuku. If you ever get into a situation like that, we have one of the best stroke
and there's a hyperbaric chamber right here where Charmaine's old running spot.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. But we live in Central Maui now, so we must think of the outlying community.
Sure.
We must think of Lahaina, we must think of Kihei, which goes all the way up to Wailea,
Someone shared with me that there was no way to land a helicopter in Maui Memorial. Is that stuff being addressed over now?
I don't know. I would think that helicopter can land just about anywhere.
I thought so too.
Yeah, but I have not got any information.
Any projects as I guess, you're probably involved, like you say, in the house day to day, all kinds of bills. Any pet projects of things that you would like to take from the future and bring it here now? Anything that we can look forward or help encourage as citizens?
Well, I think what we need to is to look for the future, and you're right, and to bring to where we are right now, and it all get back to education. We need to have the best education system possibly, and that's the future. And because the young people now is going to be our leaders, to teach them new skills. I would like to see an upgrade. Maui Community College, let me say, is probably one of the best community colleges in the state here. I remember years ago when it was a real decrepit buildings and everything else, and now we get beautiful buildings.
It's
beautiful classroom, good teachers, a hell of a good provost, so we got a good system here. Now I'd like to see more specialized kind of education there, especially in the arts and, in the sciences. Where we lack is in the science. We lack in mathematics, we lack in physics and in chemistry, and this is the future that you're going to bring to the present.
And financial literacy. I'd like to see everyone kind of better.
Yeah, well, we have that capability now. We just got to, and we have the classes. We had good programs in Masters in Business Administration. We have a lot of schools, Phoenix, and
things are getting smaller. The world has online, everything going on.
Online. Computer literacy is so important. But science, everything, the world is changing so rapidly.
Those are tax credits that were helping encourage the Maui R&T Park and the film industry. Are those all still going on?
Yeah, it's still going on. And
is it creating what you need?
Well, yes, we've created a lot of revenue. I think over $100 million in movie industries because tax credits in movie industries. We have over 1,000 employees now in doing high-tech work. Where a few years ago maybe we had a handful, and they're all in good paying jobs. And here in Maui, I remember when it first began, prior to the supercomputer, was I assisted in putting up the building there. Again, it was Yamasaki and myself.
Right.
When he came to see to provide some assistance to the Research and Technology Center, we provided the funding for that. And that acted as a catalyst the way you have the supercomputer. We worked with Pandey and with the Senator Inoue to bring the supercomputer. Now we have over 200 people employed in that area.
Well, I'm excited about how private industry now can jump in. Because, with the federal government, let's say we have a little bit of a deficit. So I don't know how far of a hand they're going to be reaching out and saying, oh, here's some more money for growth. We want to fix things. So I look forward to all of our citizens taking their good ideas and realizing that we as private citizens in private enterprise can be the fuel to reignite our growth here, and maybe self-sustainability will be a great economic engine that in time will serve us so well. Someone just yesterday was telling me, we were doing an interview, and he said, the Hawaiians lived here self-sustainably and simply and happily for many years. And
well, the Hawaiians didn't have
simplicity. All the victory gardens. How about some gardens now? And how about really getting more self-sustainable interactions? There's got to be some incentives for that.
I think we all look forward to as much as we can. But remember that the lifestyle has changed.
Oh, sure.
And people don't have that. Our puha is from the mountain all the way down to the water. They have a little 2,000 square foot lot or 3,000 square foot lot.
But the resources could still be working on Hapua. There's a lot of systems for water and things. The controversies that happen as all
now
that
you
stuff.
have you have the competition for water. Well, you got to remember with this growth that we've had, which provided the jobs and the opportunities, it took away some of that sustainability capability. For one thing, you got about 7 million tourists coming into Hawaii every year. In the old days with the Hawaiians, they had to feed a total of about 250,000 people under a strict taboo law. You break the law and then you're in trouble.
Pay heavy consequences.
You pay heavy consequences. We don't have that anymore. The whole structure would have to be changed.
Well, it's exciting though to think is that we can try to keep a positive attitude and try not to be dependent on others best we can, because that's all I'm really sharing.
Yes. But then again, the whole world is interdependent. At this point, we still need oil, and we're overly dependent on China right now. China practically owns the United States at this point, and so we need to change that. But it's interdependent because of the business with China. Now we're having a lot of lead paint problems, which we didn't have before, because we kind of cleaned it up. The lead paint. Now we have that. That's the interdependence again. We've become more reliant, and so now there is a balance. Now, how do you continue to sustain the economy as a whole? And when you look at for one little piece here, but then you look at nationally, how you sustain it? When we have to fight a war continually, when we're losing trillions of dollars, and the huge debt that we have, and we don't want to make the sacrifices that it would need to take to resolve the problem of the national debt. When I listen to the two candidates, nobody has come up with a real plan. How are you going to resolve it? Normally, when you have a debt, you do two things: you cut or you raise the revenue. Right. And that's the only way you're going to do it.
What else can you do?
It's the only way you're going to do it. And there is nothing to be done. Nobody's trying to raise the revenue, however means it means. And simply, and that comes back to us here in Hawaii. With this huge deficit that we have, we're going to have to make some major cuts in the program that we have. But it shouldn't be across the board. We should look at it and prioritize as which one is more deserving to cut than the other one, and a larger percentage one area to the other one. Across the board doesn't help anything. And I know
usually the one is education, health.
Well, we need to maintain the health system, and then we need to maintain education, and then you have the welfare system. A lot of people are on Medicaid right now. 90% of the long-term care patients are on Medicaid.
Wow.
Which is federal and state subsidized. It's about 45, 55 around there. That's the ratio. And then because of the jobless situation, more people are on welfare. You got MedQuest that has increased tremendously to provide everyone in the state an opportunity to have a medical plan. No one can need to go without the medical plan.
Who holds the sharp pencil? That's what you got to keep voting on.
The sharp pencil is right now is between the governor and the legislature. There's always a question of whose responsibility it is to balance the budget. The first crack goes to the legislature. We will look at the governor's budget. The governor should give us a balanced budget. If not, then the legislature will have to make the respective counts and tweak it. And then we give it to the Senate and they tweak it more. And then we come into an agreement, we go into conference and make it out. So you can say ultimately it is the governor, because the governor have the ability to spend or not spend. After we make the appropriation, it goes to the governor. And the governor will look at the forecast, economic forecast, and the governor knows how much can be spent. So do the legislature. But when we submit it to the governor, the forecast can go down again. So the governor will have to make additional. And it's not a nice place to be. Because everybody want to be loved. You want to help people. You want to make an appropriation. You want to give money to some deserving non-profit group and help the people, and it makes you feel good. That's why you're in public office, because you want to help. Right. But when you want to cut, when you have to cut, that's the exact opposite. That's the antithesis of being a public servant.
I'm just looking at Sam.
Yeah.
1 second. Excuse me. I can't see real well. Okay.
Although, let me say
that's the antithesis.
Yeah.
No one wants to be forced to make hard decisions.
Yeah.
But like you said when you started, it's almost like that's why you're there. If
That's
everything was a cakewalk, what do we need representatives for?
Why you need representatives and senators? I like to say that Maui have a great delegation, and of course we got the Ways and Means in the Senate. It was Baker, we have Nakasone in the House. He takes care of all capital improvement, SOUKI, up and coming young people, Yamashita. They're all great young people, McKelvey. So I'm very proud to work with this group that we have. And Maui has always been able to get more than its share because of this good legislators that we have.
Have you been grooming any new leaders for the future?
All of them.
I mean, in your district or not yet? You don't want to
no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to pick or anoint anyone.
Well, you know, you've been such a strong and capable leader for some of these people. You know, I know you can't really anoint, but it's a good thing to hear that there's a good working team. That's a great thing. Great
working team, and it's going to be continued, and that's a good thing about it. You know, people come and go. People like me come and go, but when you know that there is competent people in there to do the job, and that makes you feel good. In that you help to cultivate them and make them to where they are now.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. And even watching you here, how you have grown yourself, not too much physically.
Good.
Maybe a little bit.
It's all muscle.
Yes, of course, you and me both. Yeah, you have been good.
You know, but you know, I think one of the council people said, they remember when I said we put down the swords. You know, on this show, I said I'm not really apolitical. I try to bring out the best in everyone and let people explore who they are.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us really want to agree. Do you find that most people come there looking for solutions? You have a few people that roused it up just for no good reason, or mostly people are dedicated there?
No, most people are, of course, dedicated. Whether it's the human service people, sometimes we call them the Mother Teresa's, they want to help everyone, and that's great. And the environmentalists, sometimes I'm at odds with them, but they have great ideals. They want to take care of the community, keep it ecologically clean.
So where do the odds happen? Is it money usually?
No, it's basically philosophy to some degree, and it's kind of a minor degree, but it kind of grows maybe in a way. You kind of develop a reputation in a way. I try to always to get things balanced. And
I mean, like
then,
environmental, I never thought of you as not an environmental guy, but I'm sure there are specific issues people can cite for sure, you know?
Yes, they say that Joe SOUKI some time is an environmentalist, but it's only because I try to look at it on balance. You need to take care of the environment, extremely important. You also need to take care of business, that you don't bankrupt business at the expense of something else.
And it can be a thankless job having to make hard decisions.
Yeah, and making those choices in there, but it doesn't at any point in time that I'm opposed to having clean air. Who doesn't want clean air? Clean ocean, a nice, pristine forest, we all want that. And this is where the environmentalists come in. And so they're a little extreme, but you cannot fault them for that, because they have passion in what they're doing. And you cannot take away the passion from people. They need the passion, as the passion from the human service people. They need to help everybody, because I was a human service person at one time, and I was a passionate person out there. But when you're in a legislature, you got to put everything in balance. And said, okay, yes, we need this, but to a certain degree. Now, we cannot go 110, and so we try to balance it out. And sometimes this is where you come at odds with those great passions, whether it's in human services, business, or labor. Labor, we have great people in labor, have great passion. And I come from a blue-collar family. My dad was a machinist. My grandfather was a bricklayer, so I know what it is to be a labor person. Grew up in a labor environment. So I have that kind of a passion for labor too. But on the other hand, I've been in business all my life. I've never belonged to a union. But from the background of my family and my friends, relatives, I have this passion also for labor, strong passion for labor. We need to have a balance. Labor needs to have a fair wage and a fair working conditions. Business needs to earn a profit. Somehow you got to find a mix right in between there. And then also we need to have the proper...
So are you going to run? You know, all of us here, all those guys out there, they have an opportunity to do what you do. You know, I always look at these elections and say they're just a benchmark. All of these guys out there can make themselves known to you and other people all year, any year. And your contribution to make this, you may have answers out there that help make things even better. And so I always hope that this kind of stuff in politics will encourage everyone to get involved and understand the role. I mean, and what I've seen, you got to have thick skin, because people can say a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, you have to kind of keep a cool demeanor.
You have to. You have to keep a cool demeanor. And I give everybody credit who runs, because it takes a lot. As you know, you ran. And it takes a lot when you have to go out and meetings and in a dedication. The reason you run is because you want to contribute.
Right.
And I know the satisfaction, the dissatisfaction and the pain of losing, because my first election I ran years ago for the old Board of Supervisors, I lost that election. And I had a heartburn that lasted a couple of days. And so I know how tough it is. And
a lot of the people that are in office lost the first round, for sure.
Right.
Even Abraham Lincoln, I think.
Abraham lost a number of times.
That's right.
But he was tenacious.
That's right.
Oh, Frank Fossey, if you remember him, the mayor, he lost a number of times. I think he lost more than he won.
Is he still doing all right? I haven't seen him.
No, the mayor is hanging on for life right now.
Wow.
But
bless
he was a great, bless him.
He used to do more push-ups than me. He'd always be challenging.
That's right. He used to do 100 push-ups at one crack, you know.
Well, blessings to him.
Yeah, God bless him, and God bless him.
Yeah.
No, but all of these people in political office, they provide a lot of sacrifices, those who run. And make them better. When somebody run a tough race against you, and they kind of expose and exploit, and exploit you to say, hey, maybe you have not been doing enough of this or that. This helps you to become a better person too. So this is why having a race is good, because it brings out the best in you. That hey, I got to improve. A lot of faults came out of this guy over here. He's not a perfect human being. Especially now he found out there's a lot of faults. and none of us are perfect.
Well, that's important for some of the candidates to know that they're, like you say, they're not anointed and meant to be in that chair with no challenge.
No.
And they can get better, and things can be
They can get better, and it makes everybody better. Mm-hmm. It makes the incumbent better. It makes the community better by having a good challenge.
We have been talking a while, and you know, I really feel that this is a great pleasure. You know, I think of you as a statesman, as someone who's used diplomacy in all kinds of different ways and styles over the years. And I know you have a lot of juice in you, in private sector as well as in your government roles. I wish you the very, very best.
Jason, thank you. It's always nice to have a chat with you. And
really
thank
a pleasure.
You. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't be the same without Joe SOUKI.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you all for joining us, and we hope you come and see us again.
Thank you very much, and aloha. Okay. Thank
you. There is no other one. What I feel here for you, holding you in my arms, cradle you with my love. You're all dressed in white, looking in your eyes, tell all the world tonight I'll be falling. You're my shining star. From this day on, I'll be your friend, I'll be by your side. Blessed are we this night. Shower us with His love. Will you be mine tonight? Giving you all my love. And when we look back at our wedding day, this band of gold that we will share, never-ending love for all my life, then